Hey, how's it going everybody? Today I'm going to be doing a deck profile for my counter fairies. So hopefully if you are trying to build this deck, this can give you a pretty good guideline on what you'll want to pick up. And if it does help you out in some way, consider leaving a like, comment if you have any questions, and if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. It is appreciated. But let's go ahead and get right into the deck profile. So first off, 3 Bountiful Artemis. This is really good draw power for the deck. When a counter trap is activated and it resolves, immediately after it does, draw 1 card. That is not a once per turn, and if you have multiple copies on the field, you'll get to get multiple draws, which is really nice. Next, 3 Guiding Ariadne, mainly used for its scale effect, which if it's in your pendulum zone, you do not have to pay costs for your counter traps. So if a counter trap requires you to pay life points, you don't gotta do it. Or if you're running the counter trap set, you have to discard a card, you don't have to do that either. And then if it is on the field and it gets destroyed by battle or by card effect, you reveal 3 counter traps from your deck and your opponent adds 1 to your hand and the rest gets shuffled back in. Next, a tech choice of mine, mainly because it's a level 4 light fairy for Ties of the Brethren, is 3 Trickstar Candina. When it's normal summoned, you get to add a Trickstar card from your deck to your hand, and while it's on the field and your opponent activates a spell or trap card, each time they do, they get burned for 200 life points, which can be really nice, especially if you get the time and you have it on the field. It can put your opponent in a really tricky situation. Next, 2 Minerva, Scholar of the Sky. This can become a really big beat stick. Every time a counter trap is activated and it resolves, it gains 500 attack permanently. And then if there's a Sanctuary in the Sky on the field, you get to add 1 of your counter traps from your graveyard back to your hand with a different name than the counter trap activated. Next, 2 Honest, just to protect some of your smaller monsters in battle, and it's always nice to push for extra damage, especially since you can normal summon it, attack, and then in main phase 2 bring it back to your hand. It's really nice. Next, 1 of the Berry Statue of the Heavens, just for kind of a stun option. I didn't want to run multiple copies just because a lot of the times it would be dead in my hand because my opponent would already have an established board. But when it's on the field, only light monsters can be special summoned. And then next, 1 Archlord Gristia. Really nice. When you have exactly 4 counter fairies in your graveyard, you can special summon it, then add 1 of your counter fairies, or your fairies, sorry, from your graveyard to your hand. And then when it's on the field, neither player can special summon, and if it would be destroyed by battle or by card effect, you can place it back on top of your deck. And that'll do it for the monsters. Next, 3 Ties of the Brethren, the main spell card for this deck. It allows you to pay 2,000 life points, target 1 of your level 4 or lower monsters on the field, special summon 2 monsters from the deck with the same type, attribute, and level, but different names. For the rest of the turn, you cannot special summon or conduct your battle phase, but this is going to be your turn 1 play if available. Next, the Sanctum of Parshath. At 3, it becomes Sanctuary in the Sky when it's on the field. Gives all your fairy monsters 300 attack. It prevents your opponent from targeting or destroying your set spell and traps, which is really nice. And then you can target you can target 3 fairies and or counter traps in your graveyard and place them on top of your deck in any order, which is really nice to recycle. Next, 2 Pot of Desires for draw power. 1 Sanctuary in the Sky, boost all your fairies by 300 attack, and it's just the name for the Scholar in the Sky. And then 1 Terraforming to search it out. Off to the counter traps. 3 Solemn Judgment. This is just know the card. It can negate everything except for Super Poly, of course. Then 3 Solemn Warning. It can negate a special summon or a spell or a trap card that would special summon. by paying 2,000 life points. And then 2 Solemn Strikes can negate a special summon or a monster effect by paying 1,500 life points. And then 2 Grand Horn of the Heavens, or Grand Horn of Heaven. It negates a special summon, and then your opponent draws 1 card, and it immediately ends their main phase. So it can be really helpful, especially since they'll have to go to main phase 2 to do any more plays. And for the non-counter traps, 3 Trickstar Reincarnation. Being able to banish your opponent's starting hand is incredibly strong. It can mess up their game strategy a lot, and when it's in the graveyard, you can banish it and special summon a Trickstar monster. So really helpful there. And for the last 3 cards in the main deck, 3 Crackdown. Just being able to steal your opponent's monster is incredibly strong. So yeah, that is a 41 card main deck. Off to the extra really quick. In my specific build, I'm not too worried about the extra deck. These are just some extra options. But 1 Gaga Cowboy, 1 Abyss Dweller, 1 Exoton Knight, 1 Castel, 1 Tornado Dragon, 1 number 101, Dark Rebellion Xyz Dragon. For the links, IP Masquerena, Barricade Bork Blocker, 1 Underclock Taker, a Kasich Magician, a Nightmare Unicorn, a Saryuja Skuldread, Boral Low Dragon, and to run it off, Boral Sword Dragon. Like I said, I'm not really going to go too much into the extra deck too often, but just some extra options, especially if you crack down one of your opponent's monsters and it's a link monster, you can link climb. So yeah, just extra options for you. You can mess with the extra deck in any way you want. But yeah, until next time, I'll see you guys later.